I'm not sure, but this is scary, given the fact that rats have last pick.
Do you know who the person in the picture is?
Is that Henry? That looks like Henry to me. I might be wrong though.
Which position does Henry play?
Henry is.
I assume he's on their
Rodota.
team.
No.
Oh, okay.
You know Rodota? I think that's.
I've heard the name.
I don't know if that's him, but that looks like him to me. They might just be memeing him. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Cool. Let's see.
Or
First,
it might be one of their players that they're also memeing on. I have no clue.
okay, yeah, maybe. Let's see. We get an Abaddon ban. Was played pretty effectively last game. Dazzle ban. IO ban still. Let's see if there's anything new. Yeah, that's definitely not Zac Efron. Guaranteed.
I believe I just got confirmation that that is in fact Henry. So.
Okay. Elk ban first phase. ET ban first phase, and the ET makes it through because he was not banned over the Abaddon, I believe. So.
Well, there's the Lena that was banned that you said was a bit of a strange ban. But that isn't actually the team that has the super high win rate. That's actually Rats that have the 80% win rate with Lena. So
Stolen
maybe
away.
not. Yeah.
I mean, it's a fairly effective 4 if it's a competent player playing it. I think it could work well. I think when
LSA
Rangers,
spam.
yeah, exactly. LSA right click stuff. It's pretty easy to harass carries. I have found that it's very scary if they are good at diving on you. What was the match? Oh, I played like Alina. I was against like a Dazzle plus Slark or something. And it was actually awful because as soon as I got poison touch, it's like I have like no armor. They can just hit
Slow
me
until
once
you
I'm
get
slow.
stacked.
Yeah, they're ranged heroes. And Slark can gap close. It's like once they get on top of me, it felt really awful actually. Maybe they can abuse that. Wind Ranger was effective last game. See if we can do the same thing here. Witch Doctor, a little bit of a weird pick, but kind of an okay hero, depending.
If I'm not mistaken, actually, I may be wrong. I think that King Baby. Somebody told me, and I'm trying to remember if it's this team, that when they pick the Lena, it is almost always actually a mid for AR. They did flex it, but I think they lost that game when AR wasn't playing it. But I believe that they almost always run it as a mid.
Gotcha.
So it's just an early pickup, and I don't think the matchup is horrible against. I mean, once Windrunner hits 6, it's kind of scary if she dodges your LSA, but
Yeah.
at least it's some nuking power.
Yeah, it could be a decent matchup. We'll see how it goes. Centaur, strong offlane hero. Good for initiating. I would say Witch Doctor is very good against tanky offliners, so I don't think Rats is too upset about the Centaur pick right there. Although maybe it's a little bit difficult to use your Plague Warrior, God, what's it called? Death Ward, there we go. It's like Wish Serpent Ward, Plague Ward, one of those wards. I think Wish Doctor can work fine though. Maledict is just such a good skill. Maledict, the carries.
The only real downside is the laning with it, right? Isn't it like a 50? Is it a
No,
50
it got
something?
buffed actually. It's kind
did
of
it? What is it
it's
now?
kind of back to normal. It's like 30 seconds or something, 25 seconds.
Okay.
It's
I know when it was
reasonable.
50, it felt.
Yeah, the 50 was really rough, but once Witch Doctor stopped getting picked, they buffed it back down again, and luckily essentially fixed the hero. The hero's actually playable again in lane, so it is good. All is right in the world. Tiny gets banned. Very good hero against Lena, in my opinion, multiple ways. Ava combos really effective, and also once you get Ags, her raw HP is not very high. A little bit weak to physical, so I think removing Tiny sounds smart. And from here, I don't really know what either team is going to pick, to be honest. Lots of support flex for King Baby. Maybe we'll see that Earthshaker that was
I'm
slated to be
surprised
good.
they didn't just that. Just because it's just such a comfort hero for Bjorn. He makes very big plays every time I've seen him get his hands on that hero. I will say though, if this Lena is a 4, Lena Centaur is a pretty terrifying lane if played properly.
That sounds good to me. I don't know if I'd want to do Earthshaker Centaur. That sounds pretty garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe they don't care so much about the Earthshaker potential pick. And they're going to pick Wraith King again.
That's kind of expected. Still kind of susceptible though to the harass from Lena early on.
I suppose.
Especially if you take a second point into Fiery Soul.
A second point in Fiery Soul?
Well, point your second level into Fiery
Oh,
Soul.
okay.
1 point.
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
at level 2, you get like a 0-1-1 build. I find it pretty effective for harassing melee carries.
But in the same vein, I think Witch Doctor Wraith King is really scary offensively. It's definitely a dual lane that could shred through Lena. And Centaur can obviously stun, but like level 1, Lena's got to be scared against Witch Doctor Wraith King. Just with like Maledict and Wraithfire Blast, you can like burn a salve off of her at level 1s, and I don't think Centaur can do much about that. So I like the Witch Doctor pick right now. I think it's going to make sure that Wraith King has a good lane, and if that happens, I think he's going to carry the game just like last game. Seems very competent at hitting creeps rapidly.
Yeah, and both of their Wraith King players are good at the hero. So, I mean, like you said, it's not the most difficult hero. I think being hyper efficient on it, is something that takes a little bit more skill, but in terms of, mechanical difficulty, it's not really all that hard to lane or play.
That's true. Slark ban, a little interesting. Kind of good against Wraith King, I guess.
Yeah, I go figure.
Another difficult to land stun, 3 in a row. King Baby, they don't want anything to be easy. They're like, we're going to pick all of the difficult to execute heroes, and they're going to make it work somehow. Although
they play elimination matches in hard mode.
I guess so. Wraith King Skeletons are going to be great at blocking, though. I do like Arrow against Witch Doctor. That one's pretty good. If they can get Centaur into Mirana follow-ups, it's going to be really solid. But I'd really like it if they picked maybe even SD again, honestly. Would not be bad. I guess Lena could be mid. They could also get a Yule Scepter on Lena if she's core. That could be their setup also. But some kind of like a stun setup I think is pretty important here.
No, the one thing I'm kind of worried about is I feel like this Mirana kind of reveals their hand. I feel like that's going to force the Lena into a mid, like guaranteed, because Mirana would typically play the 4, right? Roam around arrowing.
They would both play 4, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of showing just, that they are going to play this Lena mid more than likely, unless they play a Mirana 5 or Lena 5.
Yeah, that's pretty fair to say. Tide, I kind of like here, just because it's going to be another tanky frontliner between Wraith King and himself that can start the fight and give them a nice advantage. Because even like 2 seconds of AoE stun means a Witch Doctor with Maledict does a lot of damage to one hero, probably guarantees their death. And it's going to ensure that against like a Centaur or Warrunner Stampede, that even if they catch one hero and land a chain stun on them, that Tide can basically disrupt that and still get some value out of that one hero that gets caught. So I'm kind of a fan. And obviously he's not very good at getting chain stunned because of Kraken Shell. So
also the Gush interaction, I don't think it's super major with Death Ward, right? Physical damage and minus armor. Plus the slow is good at, just keeping people in place.
Yep. Basically every hero on Rats is good at laning, like quite strong at laning. And King Baby's heroes are not terrible at it, for sure. But it definitely takes some precision and some solid play, which could be an issue depending on what happens.
Because I was going to mention that this does seem like a pretty good Shadow Demon game again, but I'm a little bit traumatized by the last game's performance on the Shadow Demons.
I think they should pick it again. I think it's a really good SD game. That pick is not at all expected or probably amazing. I don't like that pick.
It doesn't really lane against Tide well.
It doesn't lane against anybody well, is part of the issue. Definitely bad against Tide. I wouldn't necessarily say it's kind of good against Wraith King because minus armor is really good against strength heroes. But and it's kind of good against Witch Doctor. It's kind of good against Wind Ranger because of evasion. But why pick it there? That part's confusing to me. That's true. Even like Ravage Shackle, Cask, Wraith King stun. They're pretty nuke heavy. Even just like a stun into power shot in the earlier mid game is pretty dangerous for PA.
It's kind of given me the Ricky vibes, where you're this, just kind of go into the backline style hero or quickly burst one hero, but your HP pool is kind of pathetic for a large portion of the game, and they have very similar. They'll just nuke you down. A single Maledict and power shot, and more than half your HP is probably gone if you're the first target that it passes through.
I just don't believe in PA as a hero right now. Is part of the issue, unless it's like a really good game for it or something like that. I think they're planning to play PA mid or something weird like that, because like PA versus Wind Ranger is the one matchup that kind of looks like it's okay, because our armor is low pre-phase boots. Maybe there's like a good trading advantage you could do there, and they ban Meepo, because then if they put PA mid into Meepo, like they definitely lose that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they also, I believe Kuzi is their Meepo player, and I think they're expecting this kind of try-hard lane switch that I was telling you about, where they would put their Kuzi in the mid lane instead of 659.
Warlock ban would have been a good lane stabilizer to keeping somebody like Centaur or someone else alive. Maybe a good counter against Witch Doctor or Maledict, but they have such shitty setups right now in King Baby. It is actually so hard to combo and get kills.
The weird thing is I would almost rather them force this Lena or Mirana to play 5 because I feel like this is a fantastic OD game right now for setup for against the Wraith King, against the Tide Hunter. AR Pudge, that is a good Pudge player. I will say that. Don't know how good of a Pudge game this is in all honesty, but
I
I've
kind
seen
of
wreck
like it.
face with the Pudge.
It's good against Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor is always going to think twice about. There's a lot of like ground-based ways. Like Witch Doctor's gonna have a really rough time ulting. I guess against Tide, Pudge is not great, but maybe Pudge is a bit weak against Wraith King, but there's some advantages against Wind Ranger. It can potentially be good if he gets a Blade Mail or something. He actually is kind of effective. Yeah, and good disable and setup.
Also good.
Blink BKB on Pudge. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work quite well. If you like Blink ulties a Wind Ranger while BKB, arrow follow up or something like that, it could be excellent.
I feel like the Blink Dismember is pretty much the most reliable form of disable. Obviously Centaur Stomp, but
which is kind of weird.
I would have still loved an OD. I feel like the save is good, similar to what the Shadow Demon would have offered, obviously without the awesome benefits of his W. And I mean, I guess it would have really kind of screwed their lanes. Well, actually, this does screw their lanes anyways, because one of these, either Lina or Mirana, is going to be playing 5 anyways.
True. Yeah.
So I would have really almost liked an OD. It's good against Tide Hunter and Wraith King at most stages of the game, and you obviously have the save from the disables set up for Arrow, LSA, all of that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, OD might have been by far the better pick if they're going to force both these guys on support. But
and you couldn't even pick like a sniper here because you're playing against a PA Centaur.
Yeah, that's true. On the side of Rats, yeah. Do they even need a 5th hero? Their draft just looks so much better. Going with 4, dude.
just 4. Have their guys sit out.
They're probably so confused what to pick because King Baby's lineup is so bizarre, but they're going to go for a Bristle as their mid hero, I think. And so maybe a Wind Ranger 4? Mid Bristle tied off, Wraith King safe.
I believe so.
Wind Ranger with Bristle back, lots of damage, harass. He can bully the shit out of PA basically. Like PA's never going to be very effective against him. He can like physically harass PA in conjunction with Wind Ranger. Also it's really difficult for them to even to land their disables. So
do you see what they're doing on both sides? They're trying to fake each other out. This Pudge or Lina could both either be 4 or mid. So the Dire are refusing to lock in until they know where it's going.
Well, the Witch Doctor can probably pick a 0, but
yeah, I don't know what they're waiting on for that, but
they all believe that the draft is won in the hero select screen, I suppose. I mean, Pudge isn't a good 5 either. All right, they all picked their heroes.
It is going to be the mid Pudge.
Okay, let's see if it works.
Last time I saw it, I did not believe in it because he only had like 12 Pudge games on his profile, and he did really well with it.
This is a different Wraith King player. At least it's a different set. Is it a different?
They're doing what I told you. I believe they are putting their highest MR player on the mid. That would be the Bristleback. That would be Kuzi.
Okay, that's what I expected to see. But Wraith King is who was Wraith King last game? Same guy?
No, the Wraith King was they swapped. So Wraith King was the Windrunner. And the Wraith King from last game is now the Bristleback.
Okay, I see. Okay,
so they basically swapped their 1 and 2 players, or their roles.
Yeah, their roles swapped. Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll see how this one works out. I don't know why we're still on the screen. I'm sure somebody must have paused or some crap. How's it?
I have no idea.
We definitely should have been in game by now. So the way that MMR works here for RD2L is that it's like a drafting based system, and you pick. Basically, every team takes turns picking. So the MMR is kind of broad on every team. That's how it works, to my knowledge.
Yep, and it gets evened out because your pick order for each round of picks gets averaged out. So the way that the captaining works essentially is the lowest MMR captains get the earliest picks, obviously, to make it fair so that they can get higher MMR first picks. And then it averages out the MMR, so the next pick order is not going to be the same. It's going to go based on MMR average. So if you pick really high MMR players early on, you're also going to get the lower end of the spectrum. You're going to get lower priority in the next pick phase. Sometimes it works better to just have a more even team. One of the teams that was more successful this season, they had no real standout, high rank immortal, but their lowest MMR was, I think, like Ancient 2 or something.
That's pretty good.
There was no like big weak links either.
Yeah, that can be really effective. One way that often does matter in my experience is when like your highest mid your highest player goes mid, but he gets stomped by like a really good mid player. That can sometimes be an issue, but as long as the rest of his team is still heavy, you can definitely play through it if you play effectively.
That was basically me this whole season. I am not a mid player, but I was forced to captain due to lack of captain. So I captained, and I am not a mid player, but I played mid, and I would consistently get crushed by 5K players that were actual mid players, mechanically.
Yeah.
And it's just so different from what I'm used to, 3, 4, 5, that I would just get absolutely, just completely wiped in the laning stage.
That's too bad. Losing games does not feel good. Oh, I like this little rat. No, I don't actually. That's also stupid and racist, maybe. A lot of dumb things.
Well, the arrow
I'm
did
not
connect
sure.
in the bottom lane, as did the shackles, so Rev was able to just walk it off. However, this Tidehunter taking a lot of damage. They'll have another dagger in just 3 seconds. The body blocks from the Windrunner are actually pretty effective, so they should not be able to finish off this kill.
I mean, they could...
And they know that she went level 1 shackle shot, too.
Oh, she should have stayed. If PA stays, that's a kill.
Backed off.
Didn't believe in the arrow.
How many runes did we get there? Centaur got 1. I think that's another 3-1 start in favor of Rats.
Okay.
Well, they did force a salve in a back. Tidehunter is currently alone, so this would probably be the best time to get aggressive on him.
It's actually a pretty good game, or pretty good damage against Wraith King. And there's the Lena issue. Being right-clicked.
You try to go on the Wraith King. They do land the other LSA. Now, Wraith King is getting quite low. A few more right-clicks should do it, and one more doesn't have a salve. And Lena actually starting with that Blightstone increases their damage output quite a lot. But really nice jukes out of the Wraith King. The LSA, it does connect. They're going to have another cast in just a moment. Bjorn also juking. Everyone's just getting their ankles broken in this lane, I guess.
I like that juke back up. That was very smart. Tough for Wraith King. He's basically out of lane for a long time now since they don't have a healing self. I was a little surprised to see just like double tangos and even like a double Ironman branch on Wraith King feels a little bit weird, but eat your tree, damn it. Eat your tree.
Bjorn.
Okay, he's using that to plant a tree. What's the point?
That LSA was completely off, so the casket's just gonna triple bounce there.
Oh, I should probably pull up the CS, huh? Pudge versus Bristlemade, the classic matchup. I don't know how this one is going to go.
You told me this was a thing, like, yeah, a few months ago. I was just like, poor Pudge.
I imagine that it will be not good for Pudge at some point. Yeah. Is my assumption.
Probably around level 3, or well, now basically level 2, and Quill's missed first blood. They did get that. They actually did draw first blood on the Wraith King.
Yeah, I like the Blightstone pickup was very smart. I think against Wraith King, it really limits his high HP advantage, and when Centaur already hits pretty hard, especially with like retaliate damage bonus. Missed that one, sorry.
Yeah, I missed it too. Both cores going down, or both position ones going down on either side.
But you know that's PA. I really hate...
top lane though. Now they're trying for the Witch Doctor, and they actually will finish it. Bjorn, he is still slowed. One more right click, it'll do it, and they get the kill in return.
He could have lived. He had a magic sticky, but realistically, dying there is probably completely fine. Oh, there's actually no Bristleback on Bristle right now. What about an okay time to trade? It's kind of nice to have it, but you don't have to get it. I actually would have liked Pudge to just rush a chainmail in this matchup. I don't think the bracers that needed. He just needs armor against Bristle, and then he's not going to die. Has a better chance of actually winning the trade war. It's against like
one armor.
Yeah, against like Nasal Goo and stuff, this is going to be really dangerous for him. Big dive going on PA here. Tide finally getting Anchor Smash at level 3. That's a damn mistake. I actually hate when Tides don't buy Stout Shield to start a game. It's so stupid. They're like, but I could skill it.
I was always told
it's
that,
so
yeah,
stupid.
You just skill the Kraken Shell.
Why would you skill Kraken Shell when you could skill a skill that actually does something?
Yeah, I have seen a lot of Gush level ones that tend to be more successful.
Gush is god tier. It's 90 mana. You can cast it like 3 times. Does 110 damage, -4 armor, or even Anchor Smash. Hey, I could lower their base damage and maybe get last hits, or I could last hit a creep and then Anchor Smash for the other one. It's actually garbage, in my opinion, not to get a Stout Shield and just sell it later on when you get Kraken Shell. It's a skill point. You're trading a skill point for not having to buy a Stout Shield. That's not worth it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the mistakes I made, because that was just kind of drilled into my head by a better player when I first started playing Dota. It's like, you don't need you just take Kraken Shell. So I always had that idea in my head, but that does make more sense. I've always seen the more successful Tides get that aggressive point. Oh,
caught it.
Happened mid. I did not get what happened here. How did that even turn out?
Hooked him just dead. Didn't even need to use his magic stick. I caught the whole thing. Didn't just get there right at the end. his double bracer. He outlived him basically. Again, I don't think he needs 2 bracers necessarily, but it works out. They kill Centaur top now for probably
A lot
almost
more action in this
nothing.
game.
Yeah, there is actually. It actually seems kind of even, which is fun.
This is the adjustment I would like to see from a stomp.
Yes, an actual real game of Dota.
Mm-hmm.
PA taunting because there's not that much else to do. He's actually got way too many last hits. He's sitting at 20 right now. I feel like he should have been pressured a lot harder here. But
Especially with the anchor smash makes it a lot harder since you're a melee hero. I mean, I guess
well,
you could dagger CS.
he didn't get anchor smash till level 3, so that's probably
true.
part of the reason why. He actually just couldn't contest that much. Now he's rushing a Ring of Health, which is an interesting skill or an interesting item build. Another possible kill mid here. Oh, he is 100% dead. He's suicide though? Ooh.
Oh, he gets it!
Bracers almost preventing that from happening, but works out. He's dead for 20 seconds though. Maybe he wanted to live. I don't know, man. Or wanted to be killed.
Advantage too, so it's not too bad.
I guess Bristol doesn't get a level from it. That part's not bad.
There's an arrow coming in from behind. He actually ends up hitting the creep.
It was a weird arrow.
Yeah, the angle was not in his favor there. This is what we should have been seeing. This anchor smash every time PA steps in.
Exactly.
Now she's actually got decent CS and 2 points in a dagger, soon to be 3.
Yeah, counteract her ability to have a quelling blade advantage. It's like a much better chance to be competitive then. On the bright side, like between Tide and the
rotation here from Delina. They get the LSA. They jump on Rev. He does have the wind run. The arrow again blocked by a creep. He uses the shackle shot a little bit defensively in the mid lane again. Another kill for the Pudge. And they turn around, throw a power shot in the bottom lane. CLT should be okay with this, or maybe not. There's a lot of magical damage too, and they managed to bring down the Tide Hunter.
Okay. It all works out. I'm surprised they didn't keep going on Wind Ranger. She already used Wind Run. She was kind of low, but then they started hitting the Tide. They still get the kill, though, so it works out. I'm also blown away that Pudge is killing the Bristleback so much.
That's what I don't... I think that was just a hook kill. Like, the actual hook itself is what secured that kill.
Possibly. I mean, he's basically just regen trading is the main thing, right? He's harassing his opponent, trading hits. He's getting wand charges, so he's probably getting some big heals.
I feel like this is a 100% dead witch. He doesn't even break his invis yet.
Okay.
Oh, I guess he realizes he has to.
I assumed he wasn't going to. I thought he was just going to sit around, let the Centaur get the kill, and then maybe try to follow up on the next one. Maybe he gets a flesh heap out of it, which is really nice. Going 3 points in Rot, which is a bit interesting. I actually do like maxing Rot pretty early myself when I play Pudge because it helps you push creep waves so much faster, and by that basically increase your farming speed. So in that sense, I like maxing Rot. I think, especially because he's winning, I think this is going to be effective.
Yeah, I've seen people max the flesh heap, and I've tried playing the Pudge as a core in the offlane a couple of times. Haven't been too successful. I'm just not a big Pudge player.
I noticed earlier today.
That the Rot is actually really strong at level 3. And the arrow comes in. This is a 3-man rotation from both teams. That is a very good Maledict to land. And Bjorn, he pops a stick. Not going to be able to survive this. Drops one final LSA. Now they try to turn on the Witch Doctor, who's completely out of spells. Windrunner has no shackle shot either. But can they actually do anything? The power shot completely off the mark. That is a nice shackle, though. CLT walks into position. Level 3 anchor smash. Can they dive this? Doesn't seem like it. And Little Pink Rose on the Mirana trying to run away. The cast and a gush. This is a lot of damage. The power shot on the mark as well. And Pudge, he has now rotated. They're going for 2 kills here at the same time. They get the kill on the Witch Doctor. CLT getting low as well. They have him into rotation on the Bristleback. Kende fighting up against the Windrunner. Windrunner's going to have that Windrun up in just a second. Not sure who's going to win this out, but this is a big dive. Bristleback going to be able to secure that kill, and it seems that PA and Windrunner ended up in a stalemate, neither one going down in that engagement.
Dude, Bristol got 678 gold from that kill. That's huge.
Really?
That's like the
Solo
majority.
XP too. The
majority of a phase boots there. Yeah, he picks up a level 9. Pudge is only level 8 barely. So, yeah, good TP rotation. That was a big one. Made a big difference.
Everyone had left, so he was just completely alone in that golden XP. Didn't have to share anything.
And Pudge still did not have his armor item as part of the reason that this was like this. Just now picks up his chainmail. If he has a chainmail, I don't know, maybe he can survive under tower perhaps, but certainly not with max Rot. It's one of the negatives of his build right now is that he doesn't have that much survivability. He also should really slot in this chainmail for a different item.
Slots in a QB instead.
Interesting choice. It'll be fine though. Alright, his phase boosts are coming. He'll be okay now. Bjorn's been playing really good this game, I think. Definitely a massive improvement over last game. Seems like he's a lot more familiar with a hero like Lina.
Actually, that was one of the things he had told me that Oh, no. This was the game they won. My bad. I think I already told you that the last time they played Alina, not as a mid that they lost. But it was actually the game where I remember interviewing him, and he said, people think that I only play Earthshaker and ET. But he went 11 and 2, I think, on position 4 Lina.
Okay.
He had an incredible performance on the hero.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's doing good. Queuing up Aether Lens. She rotates to the bot lane. They could kill Tide, potentially.
Yeah, still has no Ravage, so they land the LSA, but when PA has already taken the Anchor Smash, the arrow going to be a little bit short. They use the Centaur ultimate, maybe to try to close the distance here. The Shackle Shot, it connects, though, preventing any further chase with the LSAs.
He's being really careful with his mana. I thought he was going to like stun Slave instantly, but buys himself a little time. Oh, this looks really good.
Rev might be in trouble. AR, nice positioning. They get the Dismember at the same time that the win run comes out. The LSA to follow. Good chain stun. They secure themselves a kill and 2 runes, so 2-2 split this time around.
Perfectly done. Amarana does not have bottle yet.
Oh, they were trying for that hook on the Tide Hunter in the bottom lane.
It's a good try.
That was middle tower, though.
Oh, wow. Rotation there by the Wraith King.
I think he's been jungling for most of this time since the lane got a little bit hard. Oh, they could go for a dive.
The
There's a lot of
towers.
Warpath stacks, has a DD.
Missed the last hit, but do guarantee the mid tower. That's a really early kill. I was surprised to see him dealing so much damage there, but while everybody else was fighting, he's just pushing mid. His skill build is also great for this. He's level 9. It's hard to tell. Only looks like he's level 7 here. Lots of extra skill points, but yeah, just quick farm. And lots of skellies too.
And the Midas timing was pretty good. Probably going to see a similar build to last game, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Radiance is pretty good. It's good against PA. I like it against the supports too. A little bit squishy. I think it'll make a lot of sense. I don't know how PA is going to perform this game. We'll see about that. She's queuing up Battle Fury, but she's not even close yet, unfortunately. Her net worth is actually significantly behind Wraith Kings by about 1,200 already.
Yeah, I don't know, because you were mentioning that, the minus armor is good against heroes like Wraith King. I feel like it might have been better off. They do get another kill on the Windrunner. So currently Rev, having relatively rough game, 2 deaths already on the Windrunner. Does have 3 kills, but that's another Flesh Heap stack, and I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, I think Windranger's been playing really good. She lands almost every shackle, but yeah, Pudge has been doing a great job queuing up a Hood first. I'm a little surprised, I guess. I'm more worried about, I guess, a Maledict is scary. Yeah, something like that sounds certainly very good.
The Crimson's a lot of physical damage.
Pudge TPing top.
They do use the Stampede. They have the Enchanted Mango on the Lina. They try to turn towards the front of this Bristleback. They land the LSA. The Dismember's there. Witch Doctor is actually just bailing on this, and I'm not sure if they can save Kuzi. Al Capone turns back around. Look at the damage coming out on this Lina. Just needs one more Quill Spray possibly to bring down this Lina. Still running, but he actually ends up walking through the other side trees. These Quill Sprays are really starting to add up now. They have the hook. It's only level 1. And I think Bristleback's going to try for this kill. One more will do it. The deny comes out from the Pudge, and they weren't even able to bring this Bristle down with the double Bracer and Vanguard. Yeah,
it was hard. They just don't have... They missed their arrow. That was the big thing. Once the arrow misses, they don't...
the arrow?
I don't know, but it did miss for some reason.
Target?
I don't know. He might have gotten there late. He might have thrown it. I seem to remember it was off target. So as a result, they basically got like Dismember full duration, and then it became like a really long chase. So that didn't quite work out in the end. So not too surprised that didn't work out. I can't believe Bristle is so far ahead in terms of net worth right now compared to everybody else. But last hit wise, he's significantly ahead of what Pudge has. He's like 33 last hits more, and because he got that kill rotation.
Yeah, that was like 700. What did you say, 700 or something?
It was like 670 gold or something. He's just pretty much completely caught up. They also have tower kills, 2 tower kills, whereas the raiding team does not. So it's like things like that are probably making the big difference here.
Now, Windrunner does have a Javelin now. I'm just trying to gauge. So, the game is a lot more even than the last game, but I'm starting to kind of see a similar pattern where the Radiant are starting to fall behind, and the itemization seems a little lackluster, like this Battle Fury on the PA. Don't know if you can really, against a Wraith King Bristle Tide, really...
You kind of have to go Battle Fury, otherwise your hero's just not going to be farmed enough. So I think she has to do it, but it's just not a great situation to be in as part of the issue. She also went Perseverance, not Demon Edge first. I don't know if that's necessarily the wrong choice, but I just feel like it's going to take a while for her to farm.
It's a defensive Stampede used in the bottom lane, as this Bristleback just being absolutely terrifying. There was a canceled TP, though, so AR is alone down here on the Pudge, and now there's no more Stampede. Bristle, he is going to give up on the kill as they get near that tier 2 tower, and it seems that Lina was killed in the middle lane, and they do have, I think they used the focus fire. Yeah, they did use the focus fire and the death ward.
It's just like death ward and focus fire, and that's it. Well, so they rotate to the off lane. The Stampede gets burned for almost nothing. Now they're going to take the tier 1 tower while the Radiant team jungles a little bit, but they still have a long ways to go until they feel safe farm-wise, I feel like. I wonder if like a Vlad's on the PA might have been good too. Probably not, because then she wouldn't do enough farm speed, but I don't know. Like, despite the Tide not really pressuring the PA very well enough, she's not really farming that fast either. Definitely feeling the weaknesses of her hero.
Yeah, coming out of the laning phase, the Dire definitely, I mean, this Bristleback and this Wraith King are both about equally, ahead of their counterparts here.
The advantage is so much. It seems like kind of
they were close to
unstoppable
10,000
now.
gold behind at this point last game, so they're not doing as poorly, and they're
Yeah,
able to
that's
secure
true.
more runes this time around.
I'm just kind of blown away they have so much more farm, to be honest. But it's probably
Smoke is
just like
broken.
inefficient movements or something like that. It's going to take a while for PA to be competitive here. Yeah, in the meantime, supports are also kind of gimped. I guess the Mirana's the 5 this game. Finally able to pick up an Arcane Boots. Congrats for her.
I would almost have skipped these and try to get a Vessel at a more decent timing, but is it even a good Vessel game?
Yeah, definitely. Good against Wraith King, good
The
against
Wraith King, yeah.
Bristleback, for sure. Bristle queuing up Lotus Orb next after his Vanguard Hood.
That's smart.
Yep. Definitely something you want to get most games.
They finally get that a tier 1 though for the Radiant. They bring down the top tier 1 tower. Maybe looking to defend 2, but defending 2s can be a bit of a death trap a lot of times.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Wraith King isn't here. Yeah, they don't go for the defend. They're kind of letting a lot of towers just get taken. I mean, the team fight on the enemy team is pretty scary, I guess. Tide's even gotten 3 points in Gush this game. Not that many Krakens. It feels comfortable, I guess.
Going right into Blink.
I feel like Pudge, after the laning stage, also hasn't been able to do that much, but
He
that's
needs to be careful.
he looks extremely surrounded.
They see him now. Shackle shot. It doesn't connect. They start with focus fire. They do have that Moonlight Shadow. He should be fine.
He's got experience gain too. No rot damage. Generally, when I play core, I kind of prefer to get rot damage. I mean, almost always I prefer to get rot damage because it just increases your damage a lot more. It helps you farm a little bit faster, but experience gain to get to the other talents can be really nice.
Yeah, I think
Spell lifesteal,
maybe he's
etc.
going like go for 20 as soon as possible, since they're going B Fury on the PA, and they seems like they'd want to take this game a little later than last game lasted. So maybe hit that 20 earlier than you normally would with the rot damage, since he, like you said, he's not really been participating too much outside of the laning phase.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So maybe just off the map farming helps him hit his 20, gets that insane 180 GPM talent.
Well, PA's got her Battle Fury finished at least, so she's going to queue up a Deso next. But in the meantime, just
timing, but pretty slow.
yeah. And I think one thing that's really good about what our team is doing is that they're not committing 5 heroes to these pushes. They're just committing like 4. The Wraith King gets to AFK farm the other side of the map while they death push, and it makes the Radiant team scared to team fight. But in reality, maybe they'd be able to take out team fight 1 if they had fought against 4. We'll see though. Wraith King's jumping in the fight now though.
Does he has his Radiant completed, going for that Blade Mill. This is a Centaur Warrunner kill for free. I didn't even realize he was that far out of position. That's a very strange place to be.
Yeah. I actually would maybe like to see a Solar Crest come out on one of the Dire heroes, either Tide or the Bristle. Either would be really good.
We're going to see a tier 3 push here.
Yes.
18 minutes into the game. The Bristleback, he's got his Hood, he's got his Vanguard, and they're just going to put him on the front lines. And this is actually very smart, since they know that the PA needs to farm, not going to be able to do much with just a B Fury alone.
She'll cut the creep wave mid, which is okay. It's a little bit harder when you're in Viz, I guess.
This Maledict, it's going to hurt if they can't push back AR.
It's a
You
dead
already
hero.
see him start to melt in this Pudge. He just gets deleted instantly. They're going to be able to get the tier 3 tower at least.
He's got no armor. Gets gushed, and that's basically it for him. Gushed and a little bit of goo. I mean, every goo stack is, what, 4.4 armor as well? So he just took a minus 11 armor against a Death Ward and a Maledict. He's going to die. Rax is over.
Wait, where did they get the creeps in from? Didn't it have backdoor there for a second?
I'm not sure. Might have been the creeps on the bottom. The bottom creeps I think were close enough. It's like around the mid tier 2 basically, if you think of a circle. So it doesn't quite hit the bot tier 2 because that one's a little bit farther out, but you can get creeps in. They don't have to go that. They don't have to like
So
high ground or
they just
anything.
barely got the creeps in.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. At this point, it doesn't matter. Arrow's gonna hit the Witch Doctor on the back lane, and they're healing up and death pushing, but can they even contest this? I mean, once you let them take like 4 towers for free,
Well, they did finally get a hook. They still have the Ravage, though. The Ravage does go out. The Moonlight Shadow. They pop a Dust, and now the Centaur Stampede comes out. That is a very nice 2-man stomp. Kende in the back line looking for the Witch Doctor is going to be able to find it. They should be able to get the kill on the Bristleback as well. And AR, he's still in here. Doesn't have a... Well, he actually does have a Maledict on him, so he needs to be careful. Does have another hook if he wants to throw it out before dying. Kende doing a lot of damage to Shackle Shot. It's not going to latch to anything, but this PA, she's more than... Oh, she actually doesn't die to the Radiance just yet. Is able to bring back with no, the power shot. It comes through and brings the PA down. They've already used the buyback on the Centaur Warrunner, and they may be able to defend just their melee barracks as the skeletons. They're still taking down the range racks.
Save the range barracks at least. It'd be a huge gain.
Now,
Tide's going back in for it. He wants it.
Yeah, he just wants
it. He should. This is the
One more
rainbow.
hit. Yeah, they get it. Oh, they may get this Tide kill. The arrow's already been committed though, so not sure if they actually have the damage to bring down this Tide Hunter. The Starstorm only connects one time. Collabos, he's going for it on the Centaur Warrunner. They do land an LSA on the Windrunner, who does have Windrun available, so both of these heroes are actually going to be able to survive after just walking in and taking the range racks.
That was definitely worth it. That was a big gold advantage there for them. Tide goes for a blink. I kind of wish she just would have gone like a death push item, considering how far away or far ahead they are, but maybe it'll make it easier to get kills.
Go for like the Aura, Vlad's, Greaves, etc.
Yeah.
It's a Windrunner.
That or Solar Crest, that kind of a thing. Even
Solar
like an
Crest
Ags
is
would be
nice,
okay. Ags would be really good this game too, because all the heroes are kind of squishy and slow. If you throw Gush AoE armor on like a couple heroes, like
Oh,
good
this
luck.
is a free kill for PA. That's
Nice.
definitely going to help at least try and slow down the pace of the game.
Definitely will. I think Pudge kind of had to be the one to buy defensive items. I don't think Blink is a bad idea normally if I'm playing Pudge, but if you're the mid hero and they're death pushing like this, you need teamfight items that are going to help your allies stay alive. So if you had rushed like Crimson Guard or something like that, that probably would have been a lot better in terms of survivability. Like imagine how quickly they would have taken towers if he had that instead. And I get that Hood is really good against Maledict, but they don't actually have that much magic damage. It's more like once he takes damage, Maledict will do a lot. So maybe just armor items and a hood or a cloak or something would have been better, to be honest. I could definitely see some reality there.
He's going for the
It's going
Crimson
now.
but
It's very late. Yeah. If you rush Blink Dagger, or if you get Blink relatively fast, I think it's maybe a mistake to go it afterwards, because Crimson is definitely an item that is really effective earlier in the game that you get it. And they've given them such a big tower and now Rack's advantage that it might be too hard to fight through this gold advantage that they have.
Yeah, because we were talking about just, I mean, the Hood being really not effective. Maybe if that had been a Crimson by this point instead of a Blink Dagger,
yeah,
you're right, it would have been a
the last fight goes
lot
better.
more useful.
Well, Pudge wants to blink in and go for the Aegis. Is he going to time it right
This
though?
is a tough one, though.
Oh, he gets it
He
perfect.
actually manages to snatch it. They pop the Moonlight Shadow immediately. A Ravage in the back line. It connects on the PA and the Centaur Warrunner, but it doesn't end up bouncing between them. But the PA, she has the Maledict on her. Is she going to be able to get the kill on the Witch Doctor? They do. They bring down the Wraith King. That's the first life. Can they get this Bristleback?
I like
though?
the
They
TP.
do with one final Dragon Slave. Kende, he's going to be able to survive it. He TPs to the fountain. The last tick of Maledict barely not killing him. And Rev, he has arrived. The Shackle Shot not going to connect. They do have another Blink Dismember in just 2 seconds. They may try for the kill here. They blink in. They connect with the Hoof Stomp. Laguna Blade and the Radiant. They still have signs of life.
They're back in it. That was pretty sick. Perfect timing on the blink. It was insane. It was like he had map packs. I don't know if he had vision or not.
I have no clue.
There was an arrow earlier, but it was like quite a while earlier. So maybe he threw a new one or something, but I felt like it was a long delay. So
what is the maximum amount of boost stacks that you can get on
4?
Roche?
Oh, he's got the +6, so yeah, a lot more. 10 then, which is maybe why he got it.
It's really hard to time that though, because the damage just keeps increasing, and you don't really know how fast they're doing it, because it just gets faster as time goes on.
It was definitely a lot at the last bit of time. That was a really big swing for the Radiant team. It gives me a lot of hope for them. And that was like, they're down to what, 9k advantage for Rats? That was a big turnaround.
13?
Something like that, yeah. That's a huge swing. 5k gold swing. The levels are probably massive. I mean, look at the levels. They look kind of even now, which seems unthinkable before. Big game changer there.
The PA did go back for Deso before getting the BK.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? I mean, the damage is great, but she was still very squishy during that fight.
I mean, BKB is not that incredible, I guess. I mean, I'm worried about power shot damage, Ravage stun, obviously, Maledict damage. But
yeah, the Maledict is the one that I'm most worried about.
But Deso also helps her a lot in killing Wraith King and killing Witch Doctor, so, and Wind Ranger as well, who also still doesn't have a phase boost.
They're not done. I think the smoke might have been spotted by this ward here, just giving a tiny little bit of vision, but no, it doesn't appear
not
so.
the hero you want to go on.
Freebie, but they're going on the Bristleback. This is a hard target to go for. The arrow in the backline, though, it cancels the ward nice and early, and now they're starting to get low. They use the Centaur Stampede. It goes through. Centaur Warrunner himself is getting kind of low. They have brought down the Aegis of the Immortal, but nice LSA follow-up on the Stomp. They should be able to bring down the Tidehunter, and now Bristleback, he's getting low in the PA. They are doing a lot of damage. The Dismember to finish it, a triple kill for Kende.
Pudge played that fight perfectly. Just jumped in and said, hit me, guys. I've got 3,000 health. I have a Vanguard and a Hood now. And he took Maledict and all of that damage, and he just got to respawn and blink after. So now the game is open again. 6k gold advantage now.
Yeah, good use of the Aegis. But I was actually kind of concerned when they chose Bristleback as their main target. I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well.
I mean, they almost killed him, right? And then with Pudge reviving, that's where they killed him? I can't remember. Something like that. That's almost BKB now for PA. He's got the lifesteal talent, so he can now fight against these tanky cores. Wraith King, has he even been in these fights? 2, 1, and 5?
He was not in that fight, no.
Okay, so that explains why this did not go so well then. They're glyphing. They want to fight this, surprisingly.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Wraith King's already TP'd in.
He does not have a Blink Dagger, though, so it's going to be hard for him to get a catch.
Bjorn, he's trying to TP. What is he TPing to? Why is this TP taking him so long? He makes it out.
Barax.
Oh, he TP'd to the Barax. Yeah, that was after Pudge already went there.
Took some time, all right.
If you're going back that far, just go to Fountain.
Yeah, probably. But you saw those creeps. Maybe he wanted to beat his Pudge there. Who knows? It's like almost no sentries. No sentries on the map, from what I can tell. Morana trying to decide between Force and Yules. Looks like she'll settle on Force with a Void Stone, I guess. Lane's getting pushed out. There's the GPM talent now on Pudge, which is probably needed to transition him into the late game. His net worth is actually not bad right now.
Yeah, it's going to just... And the thing is, if they do end up getting trapped in their base a little bit more, then that'll be even more useful to make sure he's just not completely starved for gold.
Yeah, that's true. Centaur wants an Ags this game. Not a bad idea for damage reduction, especially against like Maledict initiations. Don't pass that. I don't know if it's that important though. I don't know if I like the Ags. I mean, I guess he can't get Crimson, right? Because his ally is already getting.
Yeah, but I think Pudge has complete.
I guess in that way, both of them are kind of building very similar. But he could still buy like Vlad's or something. I don't think a Vlad's would be a terrible idea, considering how much minus armor the enemy team has and the Bristleback.
Does Lotus Orb get rid of Maledict?
No. God, no.
Okay.
That'd be way too good.
Because he's building a Lotus Orb. I'm trying to figure out... I mean, I guess a reflected cast would be kind of big if there's no skeletons or...
Wait, who's building Lotus?
Pudge's.
Oh.
A little bit...
he can remove the goose stacks that are on him. He can reflect the Wraith King stun. You could reflect Cask. Cask would be a pretty good reflect.
Cask is the big one, yeah. As long as there's no skeletons to bounce too.
Yeah, just like the Dispel alone is actually really solid this game, I think, out of most games. And that's kind of how you want to play Pudge. If you're playing Pudge Core, you want to become this like tanky guy that's good at standing in the middle of the enemies. You're life stealing from the rot damage. Honestly, he could... maybe not Radiance this game because everybody on the enemy team is pretty tanky, but sometimes like items like that can be really good because you just basically want to stand up in the front and be annoying. And Lotus is a good way to elongate that. Makes your health go farther. More armor is all going to be good right now.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a Shiva's I would have liked, but I guess the Lotus also does have the plate mail component.
Yeah, I like Lotus better than Shiva's. I think Shiva's is a cool idea, but there's not like that many right-click heroes that are really affected by. Like Bristol's still going to deal a lot of damage, kind of. Wraith King, Shiva's a little annoying, but yeah, Wind Ranger doesn't care that much. And
she actually had... Oh, the Centaur might be the one to break. He's tanking the smoke. He still has the Stampede available. Gonna use it, but the Wraithfire Blast is gonna connect. If they have the Chain Stun here, the Dire, they do have a Sentry. They actually have multiple Sentries. And committing that Stampede is now pretty bad. Even if he were to buy back, they don't have that spell at their disposal.
Minus armor just really shows how much damage they can do here.
They're going for the racks. Meanwhile, PA is mode RTZ right now. Hasn't come back yet. They finally do. They buy back on the Centaur Warrunner. Melee Bear still getting chomped down.
I think
this is actually pretty effective. He starts to come back now. He hasn't forced any rotations back. However, the Ravage comes out. It connects on one, but the BKB reveal from the PA. The Centaur Warrunner goes down immediately. They need to get the kill here on the Witch Doctor. Still doing a lot of damage through the BKB. Windrunner also has an MKB. I think she used the Focus Fire. This Witch Doctor still alive. They finally bring him down. AR has the Dismember, but he is getting absolutely melted by the Dire team. His buyback force. They have the hook, but no, the hook!
Oh, no.
With the Blink Strike, or the Phantom Strike, the coordination, it wasn't there. Now Rev needs to be careful. Nice Shackle shot. They have the Wraithfire Blast to follow. The Blink in with the Anchor Smash and the Radiant. They need to be careful with how they're taking this fight. Bjorn, one more right click and a Quill Spray will do it. He goes down, forced to buy back as well. They're just spamming daggers from the fountain at this point.
Just a lot of misexecution-ish errors there. Crimson Guard or Hood on Pudge didn't get used until, like, during his first deaths. It's kind of weird.
Reiki still hasn't even used his... I don't even know if he went down there, but if he did, Reincarnation's back up. They have the hook, though. Nice combo. They might be able to bring him down nice and quick. They do. He does have no BKB, but AR, he doesn't have the Lotus Orb, so he's starting to get these Nasal Goo stacks on him. Doing quite a bit of damage in the back line, though. Mirana has gone down. Rev committing the Focus Fire, and now Kende needs to be careful. The BKB is available if he wants to use it. They're going to have another Dismember in just a second. Hook. It's off the mark, and I think they're debating chasing the Centaur Warrior. He has a Stampede. As soon as he respawns, he uses it. They're trying to chase down the Dire. The Blink in. They bring down the Windrunner very quickly. And the Pudge with the Dismembered, they're going on the Bristleback, and they are doing quite a bit of damage. The Force Staff forward, trying to keep him alive. The Death Ward, it gets canceled by a nice LSA, and they're still trying to chase this down. Meanwhile, Wraith King just farming over in the side lanes. Tidehunter, he knows he's dead. He's just going to try to prolong this.
Okay.
Nice triple kill.
Eventually, it all works out. I think PA's kind of target acquisition has been a little bit weird. I think she needs to kill the Witch Doctor first. She's been kind of hitting the Tide a lot. But in that last bit of fight, it all worked out completely fine. The Stampede was perfect timing. That was exactly when they needed to get kills. If they weren't successful there, they were going to lose a little bit too much from that, losing the melee barracks. Also, a lot of buybacks, I'm pretty sure.
A lot of buybacks, yeah.
4 buybacks. Yeah. They had to get a win.
As well? I think she was the only one that didn't.
Correct. Yeah, she did not. Everybody else did, though.
I don't know if they even force buybacks here, and they're not going for top, which is a tower that's actually at half health.
I mean, if they can get the tier 4 tower, this is, I think, good for the Dire team as a whole. Just because, yeah, they can lose they might lose shrines, but they're not losing a Rax advantage. It's a limited amount of gold for the enemy team. I mean, they're 6k behind at this point. Considering they just got a wipe on the retreat there, it could have been a lot worse. But they weren't able to escape together. They still really need a Solar Crest. I can't believe they don't have one. Definitely Tide's mistake. He's bought all these mobility items that I don't think are really that needed. Because if he just puts...
is maybe excessive?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of nice on the Bristle that one time, but like, if he just doesn't have Blink Force and he gets a Solar Crest and he just puts that on Bristle or Wraith King, they just don't die, period. They're just never going to die. Whoever PA goes on with BKB, put a Solar Crest on that guy. I think that would be a much better move. These items are outdated.
Check this out. I don't know if you noticed all of the dots down there for the on the Radiant side of the map. You can't play there.
What are you talking about?
All of these sentries. Look at the Dire sentries in the Radiant part of the map. It is all sentries.
Why do they have so many over there? That seems
I don't know. I don't even know why the...
Oh, that was when they
Radiant
smoked, I think.
there.
Remember that was when they smoked through.
Oh, right. So they just
caught
put
the
down,
Centaur.
what, 6
billion.
casual sentries?
Yeah, a lot of sentries. I think Wind Ranger is fucking crazy to not buy phase boots this game, by the way. If you're a support and you're against a PA, get your 6 armor, damn it. It's insane not to have this.
Well, she does have an MKB at least. We saw it do quite a bit of work in the first part of that fight.
For other items, great, but like, spend 1,000 gold to get 6 armor. It's completely worth it against the PA. Speaking of which, Basher on her, so she's accelerating. Again, they don't have buybacks on all their heroes. And now with Aegis going on Bristle and not the Radiant team, this is still looking kind of scary. But Bristle's raw HP a little bit weak. Went for the health. Let's get the health talent here. Ooh, that's a good crit.
That's a nice dagger.
He's got to be thinking a little bit about fighting now. And once again, they're like, hey man, I wish I had a Solar Crest.
Well, he does just walk right up the high ground, the LSA. They're trying to slow this down. They do still have the Wraith King, however, who has an AC himself, so these towers, they're not very hardy against this team. The Crimson Guards pop. The Centaur misses the stomp, and now they're trying to run down Bjorn. They don't have the detection. They finally place down the sentry board. They still have the Stampede, but can they even use it? The Shackle Shot is not on the mark. Now they use the Ravage along with the Stampede. The Ravage, it connects on two. Kende, he wasn't able to use his BKB at first, but he pops it now. He is trying to focus down that Witch Doctor. He actually goes for the Windrunner instead. That's a pretty decent target. Needs to be careful, though. The BKB going to be running out. The hook shot, that is a bit of a strange target to get on the hook, and they will be able to bring down the Centaur Warrunner, who has no buyback. At the same time, Kende, he's able to bring down the Witch Doctor finally, and he does have buyback available if he even has to use it. Nice Blink Strike back, or Phantom Strike back. And now AR jumps in, gets the Dismember on the Bristleback, but the Bristleback gets forced out. The arrow does commit, or does connect, and now CLT, he gets pulled back, and they're doing a lot of damage to this Tide if they can bring him down. Remember, this Pudge has no buyback.
Big shackle.
Buyback off the winner. That's a very big shackle. Kende, he still has the buyback on the PA, going to be forced to use it immediately. AR, he cannot afford to die here on this Pudge. They're trying desperately to save him. He does go down 120 seconds without their frontliner. And now it's just PA, Mirana, and Lina, and not sure how much they can do. They use the Fortify, just barely saving the melee barracks. This is looking pretty tough. They do still have the Aegis. The arrow connects, but the splash damage from the Blade Mail, they should be able to bring down at least the first life.
Okay.
Kende still no BKB. And Mirana, she's gone down as well. She has no buyback, and that is going to be mega creeps.
A little bit too hard for them to stop here. Lina may be in trouble again. Use your Spirit Vessels.
Contest that Aegis. Oh.
I spent a lot of time watching the Lina not using her Spirit Vessel in this team fight. At least in the initial siege part. She needs to throw those down, prevent some heal, get some damage in. Oh, that guy's not ready to play Dota right now.
That is...
Never mind.
So they jump in, they get the Windrunner. She
the bait.
has no buyback either. There is a reincarnation still on this Wraith King, so there's
some good damage.
They need to be careful though. Stampede, or the Stomp, he's holding it. This is nice. They might have
good Spirit Vessel.
Still on cooldown. They bring down the Bristleback. And 30 seconds still on the reincarnation from the Wraith King. They should be able to get that kill as well. Another triple kill for Kende. And this is still Megas you're fighting up against, though.
But they can win.
They can.
And they are getting kills.
Windrunner and Bristleback both bought back, and the Windrunner's already diebacked.
I mean, the gold is even. This game is getting kind of crazy, but they just are always just barely getting outplayed. I thought they were going to win it when the PA ran in like that, but the instant kill on the Wind Ranger was huge. Probably got chain bashed. Probably would have lived if she had a phase boots, but you know, she's not going to do that. Why start now? Why start
well,
now?
yeah, you know, might as well get travels at some point.
After your next two items, something like that. I kind of wish somebody's Bristleback just had a heart or something. I'm feeling the lack of HP. I think the Lotus Orb was smart, but I think it was just a little bit early, actually. It's very good against Spirit Vessel, by all means, but I just feel like if they bought a heart and didn't even make Crimson Guard, if you just went like Vanguard into heart and they had a Spirit, or they had a Lotus Orb, not Lotus Orb, same item I keep ranting about, Solar Crest on Tide, and they just put on Bristle would have like 3,500 HP, he wouldn't die, and he would have tons of armor.
To be careful here. They actually commit the Moonlight Shadow to get her out. Yeah, he does seem squishy. I think it really just came down to them having that Aegis and Cheese, which I'm not sure if they even used. No, it was on the Wraith King. But I think without that Aegis, they may have not taken the full Mega Creeps.
Yeah, that's for sure. They should have this game in the bag, but the net worth is close enough where it's a little bit scary. Bristle
is the Radiant hold.
I mean, Satanic definitely helps a lot for the PA. That makes sense. She's
you just get a Vlad's on
dealing
someone.
a huge amount of damage. Vlad's would help too. Yeah, absolutely. Like Centaur should probably have one over like a Bracer or Quelling here, because extra lifesteal for PA is massive here. 4 extra armor for everybody on their team is massive. The fact that they don't have one is really rough. And nobody really can build it other than Centaur, I think. And Centaur doesn't really have a lot of other items he needs. Maybe a Force Staff or something. Maybe he needs a Plate Mail. But, you know, Vlad's kind of does similar things. Exactly. It would solve a lot of those issues. But PA can carry the game for them. Just needs to finish their Satanic here. Get 25, get the triple dagger. Start getting some luck in. It'll be fine.
It's kind of scary now that you mentioned. I didn't notice. Without that tier 4 bonus armor, Centaur is not sitting at a lot of armor. With the Bassi, he's only at, what, 15?
Yeah, it's not very much. I mean, he's going to have like tier 4 tower auras, but that's about it.
Yeah, without that aura, though, he's very squishy.
It's especially against like getting gushed or something. Tides, I'm sure, going to get the gush armor talent. I assume would make the most sense if they're trying to focus people down. Bristol's still trying to build eggs.
You never know in these games. You never know.
Yeah. Don't think I like the Bristle eggs this game either. I do like the item occasionally, but I think he's bought too many defensive items. You can't buy like Pipe and Crimson and Lotus and then go back for eggs. It's kind of redundant a little, in my opinion. Because Axe is good because it basically like gives you a kiting advantage against slow enemy heroes, kind of, is what's really nice about it. But the battles don't really feel like that to me, with like Mirana and PA jumping around and Pudge having a Blink Dagger. Like, it's kind of good against Lina, it's sometimes good against melee heroes like Centaur, but I don't think it's the item. I think he just needs like a heart. If he just gets heart, gets really tanky, better chance that they win. Or maybe like a utility item to help kill PA would also work. But ultimately it might not matter. They just have to get the right kill, and it's over. Because of buybacks.
And it doesn't seem like the Radiant are struggling too much to keep creeps out of the base. They have relatively good clear. I mean, the Pudge doesn't really care. He's just walking into mega creep, you know, lanes and wiping them out. PA, of course, with the cleave and lifesteal.
When damage block on Tide.
To an extent.
Not a fan.
Okay, did he go for the damage?
Yeah, he did go damage block. It's kind of good against PA because damage block. Does that work pre crit or after crit? It's probably after crit, I would guess. But I'm not 100%. But I would prefer the minus armor because they have damage issues because they don't have a conventional carry. I guess Wraith King is, but they need more minus armor is not going to be bad against like Pudge and Centaur, those two heroes, and even like Lina and Mirana as well. It would be really effective.
The scary thing, they are basically trapped in their base to an extent, so they have no map control. So that's going to be 4 easy runes, obviously for the Dire, and there's a DD there once they spot it. The Wraith King also has an MKB himself, so that's 2 MKBs now, and there's an Ags on the Bristleback. That is the AoE goo, right?
Yep. Yeah, it'll apply a lot of minus armor and slow by 32% for the first stack, 12 for every additional. And he can stack a lot. So once BKBs go away, yeah, you can have tons of slow on the enemy heroes.
And that's a pretty short BKB on PA. 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good point. Having Satanic definitely helps a lot though, because the stun durations will be lower, but you know, her raw health is okay.
Worth noting, Pudge has the BKB, so he has skipped having his buyback. He actually, you know, the CD has timed down, so I was looking at, you know, what Radiant heroes hide buyback. I know that PA committed her buyback there, but everyone else, for the most part, that bought back previously should be off cooldown. PA even in about a minute, but this Pudge, he has no buyback. He went for the 3-second plus 3-second dismember duration with the BKB, and this is a late BKB, so he should be able to essentially get full duration dismember in this fight.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good idea. Only thing that would beat it would be like a basher or something, right? But I don't think. Oh, there actually is one on Wraith King. He could potentially interrupt, but don't know if we'll see.
Who do you think is the primary target for the Radiant in these team fights? Because I know you said the Witch Doctor before, but now he's got a Ghost Scepter, and there's no, you know, there's no nullifier or anything on the.
The heroes you got to kill are Witch Doctor, Wind Ranger. They're by far the best disables that are kind of just up all the time. Maybe Tide afterwards because he's a little bit easy to kill, but he doesn't actually do that much outside of Ravage because of his items being kind of garbage. So,
Tide's in a good position to break smoke here.
That's true.
He blinks back.
Good for him. So I would probably Pudge could also potentially just ulti to guarantee one hero would have a wasted BKB, but there aren't very many BKBs, if any, on the Dire team. Do they have any? They have 0 BKBs on the Dire team, so.
Yeah, they have none.
So even like dismember ulting one guy, like normally you do it on a lifestealer or some or against a PA, for example. If he pops BKB, you do the same thing. Go chomp on him to limit that. So I don't know. Just help kill the backline. I guess kill Wind Ranger, kill Bristle maybe at crucial moments if he's out of position or going to die or something. Those are all options.
I will say though, a couple things that are scary here. The Windrunner has her Aghanims with the talent, so if they don't have sentries, which they should, obviously against Mega Creeps, and they do at all of the normal areas within their base. She's a lot more nimble now. And also the Wraith King has basically a completed Abyssal. I think he's trying to get the buyback as well. He's about 500 gold off, along with the MKB.
That could be really good because that'll potentially limit PA's BKB, which is the big thing. Yes, Aegis.
Oh, and the level 25, the Reincarnation Wraithfire Blast. I doubt that PA's BKB is going to last long enough to not get hit by that on the.
That's a good point. Unless Wraith King is like way out of position or something. The refresher should go to Tide. Yep. Give him 2 Ravages. I don't know if it's going to matter because again, Ravaging when BKBs are not active might be a little bit difficult, but if you can just stay alive and use it after the BKB, it'd still be good.
Doesn't Cheese have an active cooldown? Because there's stacked cheeses on Bristleback. And
yeah, it does.
Pretty inefficient.
40 seconds.
yeah, that doesn't seem worth it. Maybe give it to, I don't know, your Windrunner, if anything. If she does, maybe put away the brown boots since you've got the Aghanims with the Windrun.
Mm-hmm. It also could be really game winning is if they do force a fight. If Tide can get Heaven's Halberd off before Ravage, then it could also be very, very fight winning against PA with her lower BKB. That's another little bonus to having a Refresher Shard. Double Heaven's Halberd, double Ravage could limit
That does
PA
get
from
lowered
doing
though,
much.
right? With the status res.
That's true. So it'd only be like, what, 0.7 per second? So it's like 2.1 seconds instead of 3. Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely will matter there.
So here's a question I have: triple stifling dagger or 10% coup de grace? She went for the dagger, which is the one that we used to be more common when the other talent was kind of crap.
It's almost always better.
25.
Just like the coup de grace chance is not bad at all. It definitely increases your damage a lot, but when you have something like a Battle Fury and then there's like cleave critting and stuff, and the fact that like if even if you have a higher chance to crit, yeah, you can jump on that one guy and do a lot of damage to him potentially and crit more often. But if that fight doesn't turn out well, or that guy doesn't die in the burst, then it's like, well, that was everything I did. But if you get a triple stifling dagger and it starts hitting everybody, all of a sudden it's like, oh, my impact is more than just this one guy that might use a Ghost Scepter or a BKB or something. Like, Tide just took a shitload of damage for no reason, basically.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, let's see if they can do
pressure,
it.
Though. Crimson Guard is popped. They do still have their Fortify. The LSA Pudge is going into the back lines. The Ravage.
Oh, he gets her.
They have the Refresher.
Oh, Abyssal!
But no, he gets Abyssal. That is his Dismember and his full BKB. They have already used both of the Ravages, however, not much success. Al Capone, he gets brought down by a nice arrow. Kende getting kited around the team fight, and this Windrunner needs to be careful. Does have that wind run with the Aghanims. The disarm comes out. It's immediately removed. The Shackle Shot, it connects, however. They have already brought down the Pudge, who is forced to buy back. The PA goes down. She has her buyback as well. The buyback's coming out from the Dire as well as the Witch Doctor. He's bought back, but the Pudge is back. They're disabling Bristleback, but he has the Aegis, and the buyback comes out from Bjorn as well. The Radiant, they look to be in fighting shape. They do not have the Stampede, however, or the BKBs available. The Shackle Shot, it connects on 2 again. They're trying to jump in, but they're trying to jump in on the Tidehunter, and now the Casket bounces back, unfortunately, to the PA, but she pops the Satanic, trying to lifesteal. The Satanic, no, she gets stunned up, so she's not going to be able to lifesteal enough. Now the Centaur Warrunner next to fall. They bring down Pudge as well. Tide chasing the Mirana. Mirana throws an arrow at a catapult as GG is called in game 2, and Uzi's team takes it. Rats 2-0 them.
Kind of what we expected to happen, but just a little bit more delayed than it ultimately did go down. Kind of a sloppy initiation. He landed the hook on the Wind Ranger. His Dismember instantly gets broken, and then shit was just weird. Yeah, the Abyssal was nice. That's what you got to do. Interrupt the Dismember, and the PA wasn't there to follow up, I don't think.
I think that he had gone really far back because he blinked in with the BKB, but he didn't have a target immediately, so he kind of wandered up towards his target and then immediately just got abyssaled.
I see. But PA needed to follow up, basically. The disable is not just to like stop them from doing anything. It's you got to get those kills while they're disabled and then somehow be able to disengage. And that's really difficult to do with bristleback hags, basically. Once in these elongated fights, the amount of movement speed slow you're getting hit with is just, it's kind of like fighting an upheaval or tombstone. Eventually you're just too slow to disengage and re-engage, and it becomes easier for your opponents to take a team fight. I didn't even see if the Ravages were good. I saw like a good arrow pick off a Witch Doctor and stuff, but the buybacks and ultimately their damage was all in PA. Did 37k. I guess Lena did some, but
I thought with the way that the lane had gone for the Radiant that they had a much better chance, but there was a couple of engagements. I think obviously the Bristleback, that solo kill, I think just kind of accelerated him to the point where he was able to create a ton more space than he should have been able to, like when they tried for that kill on him top and almost lost 3 just to the Quill Spray. That was pretty big because it kind of negated Pudge's entire lane dominance, if you could call it that, where he got the 2 solo kills on the Bristleback and PA getting all of that early farm.
Yeah, that made a big difference for sure. I would say maybe Mirana didn't really feel like much of a hero this game. I would say Mirana 4 at TI, very effective, but
Mirana 5 in RD2L, maybe not.
Yeah,
that's not as much.
That's a good point. It was a Mirana 5. We didn't really see setup combos, basically. I mean, hypothetically, she could have been mid once Pudge hit 6. That would have been kind of good. I don't, maybe that did occur and we didn't see it, but her impact.
Performance 3-4-16, but definitely not a big standout.
Yeah, it's not a great 5 hero. I think you need like an Ags, or you need to transition into some items potentially. And maybe it was just that they were in their base for so much, but Yeah, didn't work out in the end.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately,
congrats.
I thought it would be closer, to be entirely honest, with the way that both teams have been playing this season. I thought that they were maybe the most even in terms of skill level that I've seen for an RD2L Grand Finals.
I mean, game two is pretty solid, I think.
Hmm.
Compared to game one was kind of a dumpster fire in terms of like getting completely outlaned and it being impossible to win. But Rats had a great expressed a great ability to throw the game and make the game competitive. So that was good.
Yep. And also for anyone watching that would like to sign up for RD2L, forgot to mention this earlier, but now that we are at the end of the cast, the signups are open until Wednesday at midnight, I believe. They extended 3 days past the grand finals. So anyone that is curious about RD2L and wants to sign up, you could go ahead. RD2L.gg is the website. There's also a subreddit, which is Reddit Dota 2 League. And you can pretty much find all of the information in both of those resources. Come join the Discord, hang out, go to the new player introduction rooms, chat around, see if the league is a good fit for you. And if it is, then we'd love to have you.
Cool. And then maybe you guys will get casted by me next finals. Who knows? Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Thanks again, Subject, for joining me. Twitter is at Subject Dota, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Cool. Do you stream or anything like that too?
I only stream casts. I Subject Dotes is my Twitch, but exclusively pretty much RD2L content. Going to be casting every Monday on the season coming forward.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Subject, thanks for joining me. And
Yeah,
that's
appreciate
it
it.
for the casting. Goodbye, everybody.